Hi, Dr. Sasse here from Sasse Surgical. I'm going to talk about how obesity is treated in the year 2120. Yeah, you heard me right. I'm talking about how we're going to treat obesity 100 years from now. Okay, right, this is a prediction. Do I really know? Of course not, we don't know. But here's what I think is going to be going on. By the year 2120, we will have identified what all the causes are that exist in the current environment that are causing the obesity epidemic. We currently think in 2020 that there are a great number of factors in the food supply and in the environment that lead to what's called the obesogenic environment. Many of us in my camp think that this is largely biochemical, and we think that changes in the major staples like wheat and corn and soy and rice have a different genetic genome of the cultivar of those food items, and that's had the unintended consequence of creating changes in our own biochemistry such that we're all gaining weight. And we think that there are other factors playing a role too. There may be trace amounts of antibiotics, of pharmaceuticals in the food and water supply that are affecting our biochemistry that we know that in larger quantities cause weight gain, both in animals and in people. And so by 2120, we will have identified, okay, here's the culprit among antibiotics and livestock, here's the pharmaceuticals that are getting into the water supply, here's the genomic changes in wheat that are causing obesity. And we will have hopefully found a way to stop those or change them so that we aren't driving this obesity epidemic to start with. Because you see, most people think that it's their fault, and they think that they ate too much or that they did the wrong things and that that's why they've gained all this weight. They think that they should have just exercised more, and unfortunately their doctors have compounded this misunderstanding by telling them that, hey, you're too overweight, you need to diet and exercise more. When really what we do know today is that this is an environmental problem. This is an intersection of a lot of changes in the last 50 years in the environment together with our own genetic template, and that is what is creating the obesity epidemic. It is not the fact that we've all vastly changed the behavior of humans such that we're all sitting around more, eating more, and exercising less. In fact, there's some pretty good evidence that most people are actually more active in many ways, despite the risk factors of computer time and sitting and not being out and about. In the last 50 years, there's good evidence that soccer moms and the equivalent moms running the household 50 years ago are comparable groups where the current day folks are actually more active and more attentive to their weight and health and nutrition, yet they are way more overweight, which tells you that there's been an environmental change leading to that excess weight gain. So what else will we find in 2120? I think the most exciting thing is that we will have found a way to benefit from the science of weight loss surgery or metabolic surgery to create medicines, simple biochemistry, maybe some dietary supplements that use that science about the change in the hormonal milieu that controls body weight and resetting the set point of body weight. And we'll be able to just give someone a different supplement or just give them a pill that does the action that weight loss surgery does today. The magic of weight loss surgery today is that it changes the control panel, it changes the tissues where the hormones emanate that create that flight plan of body weight, that body weight set point or metabolic set point. It's currently the only thing that we know of that can change that flight plan and get it on a healthier trajectory. In 2120, I think we're going to have a way to mimic that with medications or mimic that with dietary supplements. I also think that we're going to have an environment that favors exercise so that our young people are encouraged to do more exercise and we aren't cutting their physical education and team sports and things like that. We'll be embracing that more, and I think hopefully we'll have made some changes in the underlying root causes so that really it's not nearly the problem that it is today. All right, sound very optimistic? Possibly, but certainly I think there's reason for hope on all those fronts. Until that day arrives, I think that if you find yourself in that boat, give some serious thought to examining metabolic surgery today as it's become the safest, least invasive, and usually the most effective intervention one can do to improve their longevity and health, definitely reduce risks of diabetes and its complications. Obviously, the long-term emphasis on exercise and improving our diets until we fix the food supply. We can do our best with vegetables and protein and lower carbohydrates. With that, I wish you well and I wish you great health.